Hello everyone and welcome back to your piano lesson. If you are here for the first time, I am Gianluca Fronda, your virtual piano teacher. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of this channel. I'm leaving the link in the description of this video, where you will find also the link for my artistic channel, Gianluca Fronda, pianist and composer, if you're interested in original music and covers. Talking about this channel, don't forget to subscribe and let me know about yourself by commenting. Tell me when you have started, if you're finding my channel interesting and you're improving your skills also thanks to my videos. And don't forget also to share with your friends if there is anybody interested in piano music, anybody that you know. So now time to go to our lesson. And here I am today with the 15th music theory lesson. Today I want to talk about the Demisemiquavers and the Hemidemisemiquavers. Indeed, today we are going to complete the hierarchy of the musical values, the whole pyramid starting from the semi-breve and going down up to the Hemidemisemiquavers. Let's write down first of all Demisemiquavers and then Hemidemisemiquavers. Demisemi and Hemi Demisemi. It's quite a very long name, yeah? Hemidemisemiquavers and Demisemiquavers. Indeed, to explain the Demisemiquavers and the Hemidemisemiquavers, I want to restart today from the top of the pyramid. So we started from the semi-breve, or whole note. Then we have divided it in two half notes or two minims. Each of them has been divided even more in each of them into crotchets. It means that you need 4 crotchets to make semi-breve. Then each of them divided in the quavers, the 8th notes, we said. So one, for example, the single one with the stem down, another one with the stem up and the flag down. They could be in couples, in this way, or couples. I'm showing you all the possible ways, yeah, ending with the same ones we had at the beginning. Now each of them, as you know, can be also divided in the semiquavers. And we're gonna have semiquavers. This is a single semiquaver, this is another single semiquaver. Usually in the possible ways that you might find them. The stem down. These are in couples, you see. These are the single, these ones are the couples. And now I want to do even more. I want to join in blocks of, I do with the other ones. Here again, 2 single ones. One more is to be here, for example. Now I do in blocks of 4. Yeah, because obviously they can also be joined in blocks of 4, in quadruplets. So we have 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, these ones, and we do also these last 4 left. So we stopped exactly at this point, yeah? From each of them, from each quaver are coming 2 semiquavers that can be anyways joined, even though they are coming from different ones. From each semiquaver now is coming a couple of demisemiquavers. I think that you understood now which one is the principle, yeah? If you want to join them, they will get 3 beams. If they have to be written, now I'm not doing all of them because otherwise it's quite messy. Or they can be single, yeah, as you know. So with 3 flags. Okay, these are the single. And then you can understand that if you need 16 semiquavers to make a semi-breve, you need 32 demisemiquavers to make a semi-breve. And we have to carry on dividing even more now each demisemiquaver can be divided in 2 hemidemisemiquavers. Yeah? Funny name, I know, but this is the name given. 2, 3, and 4. You need 4 beams, okay, or 4 flags when they are single. So this is the situation, the case. Now, the practical use of these nodes is quite tricky if you want to keep referring in the piece that you're studying, in the song that you're studying, to the single count, because you need a very well-developed musical instinct, rhythmical instinct. That's why I always suggest to, in cases of pieces featuring demisemiquavers or hemidemisemiquavers even more, I suggest to consider either the quaver, like the count, or in cases of hemidemisemiquavers, why not even the semiquaver? You are understanding that the concept of count, the concept of beat, is quite relative. It depends on the speed of the piece, of the song that you study. Let's try to use a very practical example. And just to complete, you need 64 hemidemisemiquavers to make one semi-breve. It is obvious that, let's also try to refer now for example, to the quarter notes, to the crotchet. You would need, if you pay attention, so if you need 2 quavers to make a crotchet, or 4 semiquavers to make a crotchet, you would need 8 demisemiquavers to make a crotchet. And obviously you would need 16 hemidemisemiquavers to make a crotchet. If you want to refer to the quaver, you need 2 semiquavers to make a quaver, 4 demisemiquavers to make a quaver, and 8 hemidemisemiquavers to make a quaver. And I would definitely stop at the quaver, because it's simple. The principle is always identical. From each value you get always 2 smaller ones that are always half of the previous one. I was saying that I'd like to give you some very practical example, trying to discover and explain how to count when you have, for example, let's start from the demisemiquavers. In a composition, for example, let's maybe simplify, let's do 2/4. If you have, let's use very simple examples as usual, yeah? For example, 1 crotchet, and now obviously how many demisemiquavers we said you would need to complete a crotchet? 8 demisemiquavers, yeah? Let's start from the very basic example, the most basic example. I want to give you some extra idea. Two quavers, for example, and pay attention. Now I do ta ta dum yan dun ta. I explain what I am doing. So in the last count will be considered in this way: 2 demisemiquavers, 1 semiquaver, 2 demisemiquavers, 1 semiquaver. Why is it possible? If you need 4 demisemiquavers to make a quaver, 2 demisemiquavers are making a semiquaver, isn't it? 1 more semiquaver, 2 demisemiquavers making 1 semiquaver, another semiquaver. With 4 semiquavers, you have completed 1 count, isn't it? 1 crotchet can be divided in 4 semiquavers. And I have done the same here, expressing the first quarter of the count using 2 demisemiquavers, the second one using the semiquaver, the third one using the 2 demisemiquavers, and again 1 semiquaver. In a very practical way, how will they sound? And then I will show you how you can count it. So it will sound not counting. Too quick, maybe? I will count simply now the main beats. 1, 2, 1, 2. It is obvious that it's too tricky, too complicated. That's why let's see if it's helpful counting in halves. I will do 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Also in this case it's not easy. And let's see if it helps. If it helps, the big help that I gave you once, counting, dividing in four, the count in 4 equal parts. Let's see now counting 1A and A, 2A and A, 1A and A, 2A and A. This one could be kind of easier. So even though it's easier to count 1A and A, 2A and A, but you understand that the complication starts exactly here, where you have to place 2 demisemiquavers in 1, 2 demisemiquavers, the third and the fourth, in A, 2 demisemiquavers on the end, and the last 2 demisemiquavers on the last A. It's too tricky, and that's why I always suggest to consider, in cases like this, the 2/4 like made of 4 counts, each of them worth 1 quaver, 1/8 note. Where anyways then the count, the quaver, the count will be divided in the 4 subdivisions. Look, let's try to understand. If the quaver is the count, the semiquaver is the half count, the demisemiquaver is the half of the half. And indeed, you would need, let's maybe use now one of them here. Let me maybe start again a new pyramid from here, yeah? If this is the count, if the quaver is the count, the semiquaver is the half count, obviously, and the demisemiquavers are the half of the half, the quarter of count. Here we are. So this is the count, this is the half count, this is the half, each of them is the half of the half, or the quarter of count. 1 and, or 1A and A. Are you understanding it? So we are simply changing now the, let's say, the identity of the count. In the past it was the crotchet. Now in a case like this, so complicated, I want to consider the quaver. In this way, the 2/4 will be considered like made of 4 counts. Obviously the crotchet will get 2 counts. 1 and, 2 and, 3A and A, 4A and A, because 4 demisemiquavers are making a quaver. 3A and A, 4A and A. Here the first 2 counts, here the third, and here the fourth. And will be exactly the same story here. 1 and 2 and 3A and A, 4A and A. 3A and A is getting 2 quarters of count. 2 quarters of count. Or covering the second half of this third count. And same story for A and. Let's see in practice, and you will see that it's very easy now. 1 and 2 and 3A and A, 4A and A, 1 and 2 and 3A and 4A and. I hope that is a bit more clear. Obviously, the cases could be many. I want to give you just one more example and then we stop. An example now, keeping the same identical time signature, using the Hemidemisemiquavers. I'm starting this time from a G. I will write something completely different, but doing immediately something else. For example, a very long scale. Let's see if it sounds nice as well. I have no idea what I write. It's really unlikely that you get these very quick values, let's say these very short values, but it's not impossible. Better to write in this way. You understand now that if with 4 demisemiquavers we were covering half of a crotchet, so we're covering a quaver, you need 8 Hemidemisemiquavers to make a quaver. is even trickier, and in cases like this, to be very, very honest, I would definitely suggest you to consider the semiquaver, the count, if you have no idea, if you don't have a very well-developed technique or a very well-developed rhythmical skills. So it might be, the quaver might be considered or made of 2 counts. Each count obviously will be a semiquaver. From here now I do exactly the same I did the previous time. So this is now the count. We divide it in 2 demisemiquavers. That will be the half count, and each of them will be divided in the quarters of counts, the 4 hemidemisemiquavers. Count quaver, demisemiquavers, half count. Hemidemisemiquavers, the quarter of count, would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can obviously count twice 4 in a bar of to 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1A and A, 2A and A, 3A and A, 4A and A. Then the principle is the same. By simply using this method, you understand that then it's not that complicated. So, in practice will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1A and A, 2A and A, 3A and A, 4A and A. There's nothing interesting, but have you noticed what I did? So, as mentioned, the quaver has to be considered like made of 2 counts, because this is the count now in my case. This is the count when I have hemidemisemiquavers. In this case, so this is one story. This is another one. In this case it was the quaver, the count, because I had simply demisemiquavers. It's all relative. The quaver can become a count, or even the semiquaver, why not? In very, very slow pieces, full of these complicated notes, at some time can be used, you can definitely consider them in this way. This obviously is a simple introduction. Everything will be developed even more in the lessons, but I think that is not needed any extra. So just to be sure that it's all clear, here I was supposed to use 32 of them, yeah? 32 demisemiquavers. Here I was supposed to use 64 of them. I think that it's more than enough and it's quite clear now, yeah? Okay, so remember that it's all relative and nothing has to be considered like a kind of dogma. If you have any question, anyways, feel free to contact me by commenting this video. If it's the first time you're landing on this channel thanks to this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much and see you in the next one. Bye.